Hi guys, my name is Liz and welcome back to Slice of Liz, or welcome for the first time. I haven't really recorded very much in the past year, but we're gonna go ahead and just get right back into things. So I noticed that one of my most watched videos as of recent has been the 2023 low buy, and that was at the beginning of this past year. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick update, let you know how it went, what my thoughts are on doing a low buy, was it successful, and am I doing another low buy this year? So in total, the number of clothes that I had decreased in 2023. When I look at my numbers of where we started and where we're at now, I only decreased by 16 total items. So it doesn't look like I got rid of a lot, but I did actually. I did a huge overhaul at one point, and then I added more pieces in. Part of that is that my lifestyle changed. Again, I feel like that is just common in your 20s, is your life is constantly changing. I feel now so much better about the pieces that I have. I feel like there's so much value added to my wardrobe with the few pieces that I did buy this year versus the pieces that I gave up. I honestly couldn't even tell you half the pieces I got rid of because I just wasn't using them. So I totally changed the way that I look at things, the way that I am putting my wardrobe together, my outfits together, and I kind of want to break down some of those changes that happened this year. One thing that I noticed with my 2023 low buy is that at first when I would see girls online talking about how they didn't do any shopping for 30 days, I was the girl that was like, holy cow, 30 days, because I was shopping almost every single week, and it didn't matter if it was like one piece or a big overhaul. I didn't have as many bills as I have now, and so I was shopping a heck of a lot more. And the reality is that now I have rent to pay, now I have utilities, and now I have a car payment and a whole bunch of other things. We'll get into the finances in another video, so I am going to be bringing back my finance videos in a different light. But for today, let's continue talking about the clothes. So again, I just don't have the budget to be shopping for clothes, and it's become a lot more normalized for me now. I'm gonna take off my nail polish while we do this, but it's become a lot more normalized for me now to be like, oh yeah, I haven't shopped for clothes in like 3 months. And I think that is normal for most people. It's like you see on social media all these girls constantly going out and shopping and doing these huge Amazon, Aritzia, you know, whatever hauls, and it's like that's not real life for a lot of people. I'm not saying it's not real life for some people, but I think for the majority of America, or majority of just people in general in any country, that's just not something that we can afford. And even if it is something that you can afford, I think it's something. Milo's getting a drink of water. So even if it is something that you can afford to go shopping all the time, there's still an opportunity cost there, right? So like, what then are you taking away from? When you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. So when you say yes to a big clothing haul, you are saying no to being able to buy more gifts during Christmas season, or you're saying no to being able to go get your hair done instead that month, or you're saying no to investing that money or putting it towards savings to be able to hopefully afford a vacation, right? So when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And even if those things aren't necessarily equal, for example, like doing a clothing haul might be more equal to going and getting your hair done than it is equal to going on a vacation. But if it depends on how often, right? Like, how often are you doing those clothing hauls? Does it end up actually equaling a whole vacation? So for myself, I've really said no a lot to clothing. And it's not even really that I felt like I needed to say no anymore. It's just that I filled my life with a lot of other things. And I feel very pleased with where I'm at with my clothing. I feel like my style is still kind of changing a little bit, still evolving here and there, but it's evolving a lot slower than what it was now that I'm in my late 20s versus my early 20s. And also another thing is just what I consume. So I consume a whole lot less content about fashion than I used to. And the content that I do consume now about fashion typically is girls that dress similarly to me or that dress in a style that I'd like to dress in. And they're showing me how to use pieces that I already own in new ways. A big thing that I did this year is I actually learned how to use Pinterest. I've never successfully used Pinterest before, but this year I feel like I actually got a good grasp on that. So instead of just doom scrolling on Pinterest and trying to find outfits that I like, typically those were going to be made up of pieces that I don't own, or they're very particular styles or things like that that are hard to find, or like vibrant colors that I really don't wear and aren't in the rest of my wardrobe. So if I started to add that in one or two pieces, it just wouldn't fit the rest of my wardrobe and it would feel like I have to change everything. So instead what I would do is I started to save images of girls that were wearing pieces that I already owned. So black trousers, right? Button-down shirts, basic white t-shirts and baggy jeans. I would start to save those types of outfits. And then if there was something that I was struggling with, like for example, blazers or dresses, and I didn't know exactly how I wanted to style them in new ways, I would look particularly for, again, similar pieces to what I have. I wasn't always able to find exact matches to what I own, but I was able to find like a general idea of something that I own that I could then go ahead and recreate what I was seeing on Pinterest. And that has just made things so much easier. So sometimes what I'll do in the morning is I'll be getting ready and then I'll just pull up my Pinterest really fast and I'll just look to see like what outfit options there are through what I've saved. And then I'll just go ahead and I'll pick out my outfit that way, and it makes it super easy to get ready in the morning. It depends on what's actually washed that day, and sometimes that happens where I'll have an idea in my head and I'm like, shoot, that's not washed. But that actually brings me to another point, and that is I increased the number of basics that I have. So I only had one basic white tank top and I was wearing it constantly this summer. And same thing, I have one black tank top as well. So what I went ahead and did is I just bought an additional one, so that way if I wanted to go ahead and repeat a similar outfit structure, I didn't feel like, oh man, I really love that outfit yesterday, I felt so comfortable in it, but now I can't wear it again. Instead, I just went ahead and I doubled up, because the thing about like a white tank top, a black tank top, I'm always going to be needing those, I'm always going to be wearing them. They're just really classic staples for me that I have proven time and time again that I get a lot of use out of. So that to me is money well spent. So that is part of why it doesn't look like I decreased my wardrobe as much as I did, because I added in some pieces that I get a lot of use out of now. For myself, I don't have a washer dryer here where I live, so it is actually more beneficial for me to have a few more items of clothing to be able to last me a little bit longer, so that way if something happens and I can't get to the laundromat right away to be able to wash something, I have outfits that I can still wear and I'm not freaking out. I do see the utility factor first and foremost of I just need to dress my body, right? But then second to that is I want to be confident in what I wear. I feel like going to the gym, going to therapy this year, changing around like how I view my finances, all of that has played a big role in my overall confidence. And I don't want to burst that bubble by wearing something that makes me want to shrink, makes me not want to be seen, right? Instead, I want to wear something, and it doesn't have to be the most flashy thing, right? Like I'm wearing a turtleneck right now. I'm extremely covered up. But I feel like my personality, like I can shine through even though I'm wearing something more modest. It doesn't need to be the most over the top thing. But I do find it important to wear clothes that I'm confident in and I'm comfortable in. Something that I personally need to be really careful about is that when the seasons change, I start to get all these new ideas in my head about new outfits that I want to wear and new types of clothing, because that's usually when new fashion styles come out and the new it pieces come out. That's something I need to be personally very careful of, because that's when I feel like I'm most tempted to go shopping, is during a new season. So this year I am going to be trying to do my low buy again. And that's just something now I know, like, I need to be very mindful, specifically during the seasons, like when they change over or they're about to be changing over. For me, it definitely did help having a list of wish list items. So I actually stuck to that list pretty well, and I would just check off whenever I would purchase something that was on my list, or I would just go ahead and erase it if it was something that I didn't end up getting. So that actually was very beneficial, that I tried over the last year and am continuing to use. So for 2024, I'm saying it now, I'm going into this year planning to do a low buy again. I'm going to continue to use Pinterest properly, the way that I have found works best for me. Another thing you can do is that I'm going to be doing is taking photos of outfits that I really enjoy, so that way I can go back and look at those when I feel like I don't have anything to wear. Number 3 is I'm going to continue to keep a list of wish list items. I already know for this year I have one item that I asked for Christmas, so I might be getting that, maybe, you never know. And then another thing is my boyfriend and I decided we want to do a date night where we go shop for an outfit that night and then have to wear it to dinner or to wherever our date is. But overall, I'm just going to continue to exercise just awareness and slow down when it comes to my shopping even more. Again, I already feel like I can go months without shopping at this point, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, like went months, like no biggie anymore, which is a really good feeling to have, because I did not feel that way going into 2023. But so yeah, so I feel like I'm in a pretty good place going into 2024. I definitely wish you guys all well with your 2024 low buy, if that's what you're going to be doing. If not, you know, just overall, I hope it's a great year for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.